Wow, welcome to the Well Spoken Podcast. First one in person.
Live and direct.
We can see you. You can see us.
See
We
ya.
can see each other. So welcome to H Town.
Hey, good to be here, man. It's cracking.
Finally got him out here again. Like I say always, we do this every week. We're here on a special day on a Sunday, mainly because hey, Roosevelt here is in town. So that's special things, big things going on. We want to make sure we get you, the fans, what they want. Us in person can see our faces together. Not that you always see them anyway if you catch us on YouTube, but just have that special interaction. So it'll be all good. And I think what we want to talk about today in general is sellouts, right? The topic of sellouts. Just we were just having a discussion between the two of us earlier about just what's going on with Apple possibly buying Tidal, and that being for at least on a public face, Jay-Z's company, and then with the backlash, is it D-Ray or DeRay? I'm not sure how to say it.
I think D-Ray is the common
D-Ray.
pronunciation.
Deray Mckesson is getting for accepting an interim position as was the head of chief people officers for Baltimore public schools.
Right.
And I guess it's less the title, more the fact that the salary attached to it. So it's very interesting, a lot going on, and that got us thinking about, honestly, how is a black man or someone who's supposed to be of the people, black, white, otherwise, supposed to carry themselves or supposed to relate to money, right? You mentioned before, and we talked a little bit about it, that it seemed like we want our activists to be broke.
Yeah, gotta be broke.
Right. We want our rappers to be rich necessarily, but we want them to also be somewhat independent, right? Right. Or at least have that air of independence.
Right.
So I guess it's kind of more of a practice in what you preach. I know Jay-Z talks a lot about him being independent necessarily, but you selling out to Tidal, and Deray, is about fighting the power and changing things, but are you being co-opted now that you're working for the public schools? There's also the flip side to that we'll get into. But yeah, man, just open it up. Yeah, what do you think what's going on here? We'll start. Let's start with the Tidal and the Jay-Z, and then we'll get to Deray or D-Ray when we can.
All right, man. Tidal is complicated because it's still so much secrecy around what the actual ownership stakes are for the individual artists. So I know Jay-Z's like the figurehead, but I think it's more like he was the figurehead for the Brooklyn Nets, or Magic Johnson is for the Dodgers, where he's the name that they attach to it, but the percentage is actually way down in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really sure. Like, I tried to look it up. It didn't give me no information. Maybe you can be more successful. But
check it out.
So that's the first question that would need to be answered to really move to the next part of the discussion, because it depends. Like, say he owns a 30% stake in the company, right?
Right.
So it's actually significant. He's not just a figurehead, he's actually in there. Then the point would be, why did he kind of get this business together? Because what it was supposed to do, of course, challenge the rivals of Spotify and Apple and all these things. But it was supposed to pay the artists more, because there's been a lot of backlash about the percentages now that we're going to streaming that an artist actually gets per song, per stream. So it was kind of sold as, hey, we're going to give you more equity in your art.
So I got some right here, right?
Go ahead.
So Tidal was launched in 2014 by Norwegian and Swedish public company Aspero. It had distribution agreements with all three major labels, in addition to many indies. In the first quarter, however, of 2015, the parent company, Aspero, was acquired by Project Partner Limited, which is owned by Sean Jay-Z Carter. So following the acquisition of Aspero by Jay-Z in March 2015, that's when the mass marketing campaign was introduced to relaunch Tidal. So, this is according to Wikipedia, which of course here and there, but Wikipedia, for what I understand, is a lot of times be on point. So Jay-Z purchased Tidal, but it was a much smaller company. It was a Swedish company. He purchased the larger stake. So
yeah, it's one of those things that's still so difficult, because like how we define owner, right? It could be, you don't say partial owner, we don't always say minority owner, etc. Like, does he own the company that acquired Tidal full out, or is he a partner in it? Anyway,
Well,
but it seems as if he's significant.
the name is Project Panther Limited, not partner. Okay. Project Panther Limited. So there is that naming. But I get what you're saying, right? I mean, because that's kind of the crux of it. What we can agree on is this part here, right? The service was promoted as being the first artist-owned streaming service.
Right.
So each artist publicly signed a declaration which opened with, throughout history, every movement began with a few individuals banding together with a shared vision to change the status quo, right? That was what Tidal is based on. That is their basically
mission statement.
That's their vision. That is their what they're considering competitive advantage. Where artists own, we know about music, right?
Well, with that being the case, then I would be in a position to respond by saying, then by selling it to the competition, to the establishment that isn't pro artist, then of course,
right. I mean, and Apple is proving itself to be anti everything, anti competitive, anti artist.
Yeah, you can't customize your phone. You can't. It's really locked down.
There you do it Apple's way or you get out, right? There's been lawsuits documenting Apple's anti-competitive, anti-partnership practices. So you flat out, so you Tidal, if you sell to Apple.
If the goal of your company is to do something directly opposed to who you're going to sell the company to, then obviously your desires for that mission have expired now. You got what you wanted out of it, and now you're like.
And the question, I guess, then becomes: Is it now? Will it stay Tidal, or is it?
Well, what I've heard,
is Apple buying the book of business?
What I've heard briefly is just that it will still kind of operate as Tidal, but that's all these acquisitions work that way in general. But over time, it just gets fewer resources and it becomes kind of default,
right?
Because that will just go under this umbrella, and then over time, why are we doing all these things? Make it one. We out.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. And
the biggest thing is, I'm sure it's to get Prince's catalog.
And I guess, right. I mean, Prince. And the interesting part is, I'm a Jay-Z guy. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, but I've always tried to keep Jay-Z in perspective. Because Jay-Z, don't expect the man to be anything other than what he's been telling you. Jay-Z is a drug dealer. He's been a drug dealer. He considers himself to still be sort of a hustler and a drug dealer. A hustler is just that. He's gonna make whatever is gonna be the biggest buck. It's about the bottom line is a dope.
Truth be told, I'll probably be lyrically.
But what about that, right? What? I did 5 more. 5 mil, and then the rest is history. And he said it publicly. He wants to be a billionaire. He wants the billion.
That's the way to get it.
So he started at $3 billion.
Trey got his from Monster acquiring Beats headphones.
Apple bought Beats.
What I said? Did I miss
Monster? It? No, Monster's a competitor. Monster has the Luda.
Monster created the first Beats, which that was then bought by Jimmy Iovine. Okay. So my bad. I've been reading up on it, so I probably went through that way. Anyway, so Monster had the technology. Jimmy Iovine got Dr. Dre to be the figurehead to come in, make these Beats lines.
And Apple gave him $3 billion.
Apple bought that. He got his own estate.
And you gotta think Tidal is worth more than Beats.
I mean,
just a Prince catalog alone.
The full catalog, and to get the exclusive rights to the Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, Beyonce. I mean, yeah, you're there. And it's crazy too. Like, when I think about it, is like Prince wanted to go to Tidal because of the artist first thing.
Right.
He dies,
and now we sell
a month, whatever.
It's interesting. There's all conspiracy theories abound. I know Umar had a video talking about how Warner Brothers wanted to get. He said Prince was killed because Warner Brothers wanted his masters and his publishing. So
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just is Jay-Z though a sellout if Jay-Z is doing what Jay-Z has always done and told you he was going to do?
Well, the main reason why we call it a sellout
because how it was marketed.
Yes, it's not what you do, is if you disguise it as something else. If you were to say, you know what, I'm trying to get this money,
I'm about $1 billion.
I'm trying to get the Billy, I'm gonna get there how I get there. And like I've heard a lot, there's no real sanitized, clean, up and up way pretty much to get $1 billion, unless you just have some kind of technology, but even in that, there's something behind the scenes. You're using factory workers or something like that to get to a billion. Because it's just a big thing. So if you were to say, hey, I'm trying to get a billy, how are we gonna get there? Cool. But don't sell me on artists first. You're gonna get a bigger percentage for your art, yada yada yada.
Because all that goes away now, right?
Bring up all these black folks up there, stand on the stage and give the rah-rah speeches, and then be like, well, we're all Apple. You didn't want to go with Apple.
So I guess what the point is, at what point does business come to play? Because you and I both know we studied business and got degrees in business. At some point, you realize you're not going to win, right? Because the challenge has been Apple. No matter what Apple has done and what Tidal has done, they have not been able to catch Spotify. Spotify is an industry leader. Spotify has first movers advantage. Spotify. So I'm a Spotify user, and all my playlists are on Spotify, and I don't want to go to Tidal or Apple Music and have to recreate my playlist all over again. I got my music. I got it where I want to do it, and I subscribe to Tidal. I'm not a free user. I pay. I mean, I pay Spotify. I pay the $10.99 or whatever it is a month for Spotify because I use it that much. Okay. So if you're not gonna win, you can't beat them. You got all you can get out of it. Why not sell out and move on to something else?
And that's kind of the interesting point.
Cash out, right?
That's the interesting point in regards to like business, because one of the main reasons why, especially us as black folks, can't really get to the next stage is that it's all about money. You know what I mean? Like the goal is the paper.
Damn, you sound judgy right now, bro. It's like you judging. It's all about money with black folks.
That's not what I said. I said the problem is it can't there's few things that are done because they should be done.
Okay.
It's what's the bottom line at the end of the day. And again, we live in America, capitalism, that's the name of the game. It is what it is, right? Makes sense. Got the NBA going crazy right now, free agency, it's all about the money, right? So, but the problem is if your goal is to give artists a better share, that void is still there. So therefore, it can't be like, well, I'm not going to be able to be successful. I might as well cash out.
So I guess we got to know if Jay-Z comes out, what you can't come out and say, because Apple wants, you want to make your company as valuable as possible. If you're like, look, I looked at the numbers. Eventually, Tidal's going to lose money because we don't know if they're in the black.
Is Tidal public?
I don't think so. No.
Well, then the shareholders don't matter.
Well, I mean, but if Apple wants to buy it, if he comes out and says we're losing money, I guess Apple doesn't. You want to get the biggest buck for Apple. So, you want Apple to be able to pay you $4 billion, $6 billion for it. But if you're losing money, they know if they know you're gonna falter to the wayside, then maybe they just kick back and let you crash. So if he's seeing that, they know we're gonna end up losing money. So I get support the artist, but I can't support you financially. I can't just keep owning this business as losing money because of an idealistic dream. Right. I can't do that either. And I don't know. I don't want to be a Jay-Z stand defend him. I guess it's not as black and white as, you know what, you said you're for the artist. You said, because at the end of the day, it is a business and they worry about making money. And if you come to a point your business is losing money, then maybe you got to sell. And he's not going to be, Tidal will not be as valuable as it is right now. Life of Pablo's hot. He's been winning all this year. Lemonade, Life of Pablo, getting the Prince Masters. He's releasing his new songs on there with DJ Khaled. Alicia Keys is coming out with some new music. I mean, the hits keep coming for Tidal this year. You're not gonna be hotter than this.
Yeah. But that's the tough thing too. It's like, I think the crazy thing about the situation now and basically the conglomerate model where it's just the big boy just buys up everyone else and then envelops it, or if it doesn't like it, it just kind of stops it. It's kind of like how, we pay farmers not to produce food. You know what I mean? Because there's excessive food and you have to maintain the price. So you just pay folks just to do nothing. And it's like so often, Apple doesn't want this competitive environment. So they'll just say, we'll pay you in excess, like to your point. Instead of waiting for you maybe to crash and burn, we'll just pay you just to go away.
Yeah.
Just get out of here.
That's true.
Give me the rights and you could just go somewhere else. And it's tough because a lot of times, maybe if you get over that hump, maybe you'll get, the Chance exclusive or whatever, or the next whoop-de-whoop exclusive that might continue
to float you a little bit,
to get you bigger. Because all of the things, just like even if you think about them as rappers or as artists, it's all this grinding and trying to get the right song and playing your venues and trying to get the deals. And then if you got the right song at the right time, then it just blows. And it could be the same thing too for this. If it's the right artist, the right album,
Yeah.
and the exclusive window is longer, because if you can really leverage that, like if Beyonce was to say, "This is where Lemonade is. It ain't gone. It's not for 2 weeks or a month. This is where it is." And then Jay-Z said, "This is where it is." And then
Kanye said,
"This is where it is." And you already got Prince. This is where it is. It's not anywhere else. You can't even find Prince on YouTube. It's nowhere. He scrubs it. He's always wanted that. This is where it is. That's where it's at. And the thing with me that I never understood about the big artists like the ones we just mentioned is why they're still attached to a label. You have a studio in the crib.
well, that's the whole Ryan Leslie thing now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You got a studio in the crib. You have name recognition. You can say at any time, "Hey, go to the website. Album's up."
yeah.
And you sell it. You go and play it.
I mean that is the whole concept behind disruptive media.
Right.
Ryan Leslie did it. He got Nipsey Hussle doing it. Talib Kweli doing it.
I just don't get why more artists
because everybody, and that's the myth. Everybody don't want to be an owner. Everybody don't want that pressure. Yeah. I just want to make music. I don't want to deal with the rest.
But I want to say I'm an owner and I'm independent, but not actually be.
Yeah, but don't want everybody want to be a nigga, but don't want to be a nigga. Like everybody want to be a boss, but when it comes down to it, don't like. I mean, I'm living that. Like, I mean, I want to be a homeowner. I told you, just purchase this home, but man, it's a headache.
I don't want it.
He said, you cool, huh?
It's part of the definition too. Just to jump in real quick, it's how it's defined, because it's like you take out a 30-year loan and you move into the crib, and it's like, well, I'm a homeowner. But it's
the
like,
bank owns it.
You own the loan, basically. The bank owns the loan. It's their crib.
But I do what I want.
But it's the nomenclature. You can paint the walls. You can put a new roof on. You do whatever. So it's like, I get it, but it's always complicated as far as ownership. If I go out and I buy a car cash, then I actually own it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or if I buy the crib cash, it's mine.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's why it's just always interesting to me. Like, I want to own, and this isn't no diss, because I want a crib as well. It's just that in my place right now, I don't want to leverage that kind of loan based on my
every situation is different.
Every situation is different. So I don't shade people who have home, who own. I think it's great. But just for me, it's like when I own, I want to kind of own. I don't want to pay.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you get to the cash, you get to the point you got that cash in the realm, by all means, I'll do it. You know, and everything's a stepping stone, and I get that. So and that's how it may be. Everything's a stepping stone to what the true goal is. The true goal might be, you know what? When I next time I own a sports team, I want to own the sports team.
Is Tidal predatory lending?
Right.
Is it the stepping stone, or is it predatory lending? Is it selling you? Hey, we're gonna get you this crib. You're gonna move in. It's gonna be yours. It's gonna be this variable rate, and then the economy goes down. Boom, you lose it.
I think it depends on what the conversations are having behind the scenes. Is he really telling artists, look, shit has changed. It's not viable. We thought we could pull it off. Apple is playing dirty. Spotify is too large. It's not necessarily viable right now because we're already charging double what the market. Apple's charging $10. Spotify's charging $10. We're charging already double what the market is, and we're not able to gain any market share very much. And it's still a business. I think ultimately it's how you really sell it to the actual artists behind the scenes, because he gave them ownership stakes, some of these artists too. So when he cash out, they also cash out too. And that could be fun as some dreams. But I think largely it's kind of a wait and see thing. And again, the Apple set of Tidal isn't final. It might not ever be final. This is a new industry, streaming music services, and it may be under some regulatory things, but I get, there's all kinds of things that go to it. But the point I think is there is a concern as a Black leader. The question is, what example do you set for Black entrepreneurs? Do you want to get something and own it? Right? It's the do you want to get drafted to this team and stay with the team that drafted you and build something here, or when you become a free agent, go off and build a super team with your boys, right? Which one is it? Because you go off for the championship, or do you stay for the pride of it? And neither one is necessarily wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to decide what's what, because
what's the right example then, right?
I think the right example is what you pretty much never find, which is just
integrity,
clarity, and vision. If you're saying, yo, we're gonna start this thing. This is our goal, right? Boom, boom, boom. So maybe we hit the roadblocks. This is a great opportunity for us, you know, another black billionaire, another black whatever in the situation, whoever else has an ownership stake. And now, so what I was saying is like the vision. Like if the vision is to start the company, and you have this goal of better situation for the artist, and it didn't work out, but now with this sale, it gives us opportunity to move into this other space. Maybe kind of like how maybe Live Nation is handling like the concerts. Maybe we're gonna do that because that's pretty much where the money is as well. The venue relationships, touring. That's pretty much where any artist can make money anyway. Because it's not really selling records. Because publishing is just crazy. So many, especially if you don't produce your own songs, write your own songs, if you have 10 different whatever. So it gets split up all over the place. So my thing would just be like, if there was a clear statement about the vision and you just told me that's what you're trying to do, then I'm good.
Yeah, but I mean,
but that's not business. Things change, of course. And of course, you can't show your hand because, of course, if I say, I'm trying to do this thing, then you're gonna leverage that into your decision. You're gonna
right.
So I get it.
But I mean, I would like to see.
If I want to stay in it.
Yeah,
even if it isn't all the way.
I definitely want to see more black-owned businesses, stay black-owned businesses, and build empires. Yeah. And that's the thing. It can't be about empire building when you're trying to get your own.
Yeah.
And
the mom and pops have a place,
and it's definitely hard because I feel like I think about it. If I started a company, would I sell out? And the answer is absolutely. Like unless it was something I was absolutely 100% passionate about. Yeah. If they came calling, I'm selling. You know what I'm saying? Because I can fund anything else I want to do.
Yeah, it's all on the purpose. Like I mean, making money is how.
But that's what Jay-Z's passionate about. Yeah, about making money.
That's but this is where it gets tricky, right? Because, well, to me, maximizing how much one person can make only goes so much further. Like Mark Cuban had this quote the other day. Someone asked him, I was on the Bill Simmons show, actually, his new HBO joint. But it was like, would you sell your team for any amount of money? And he was like, no, I wouldn't. And he was like, $3 billion. Would you sell the Mavericks? And he was like, no. What do I need with $3 billion?
It's a legacy.
Right. And the thing is, he's already a billionaire. So it's like, if you're, these teams for all these billionaires are pretty much like hobbies. It's how they it's like their video games. Let me buy some niggas and they can run around and make me some money. Right. But it's not just about the money. It's a viable business. But it's like that ownership,
the power,
that being the face, having decisions about who you're going to draft, all that. It's fun for them. So it's not just the money thing. And I feel like that's what we need as well. All people need that as well. Some things are just for the money. Like you're going to have your company that you're getting money from. But I feel like there also needs to be a place where, no, this is a need. This is maybe a public service. It can still make money, but I'm not here just for money. So that if that one day I can get 5 times what it's worth, then I'll just sell it.
So basically, if Jay-Z was white, this wouldn't even be a topic of discussion. Because you are now black and you're a black man, every decision you make has a social context and a social responsibility, or at least a social question to it. For example, even with the Deray thing, I'll tie this into Deray, right? Okay. Right. If Deray is not activist Deray, part of Black Lives Matter, and he's a guy, he's a black man in the community who gets a job, we're celebrating it. Yeah. But now, because he is a black man and trying to help his people, we have to ask questions about, should he have taken a job? Because is this hush money? Are they co-opting him? What qualifications did he really have? Is he selling out? But if he was a white dude, there'd be that question wouldn't be there. Well, if Jay-Z was white, it'd just be a business move. But now, like you said, because we need to have examples of people building and holding and doing like Mark Cuban did and be able to making those power moves, now it's a question of, are you selling out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair question, but I don't think that if he was white, these questions wouldn't be asked. It's just that if he was white, he would be one of thousands of people who are in the same position. And that's just kind of where it is. It's not saying that they have to do these things. Like, people who are black can be just all about money. That's fine. It's just that it's just like the the argument against like slave movies or whatever, right? That happened. It's just that I don't want just slave movies. I don't want just reality TV.
So you don't want just sellouts?
No, you don't want just sellouts. There are people who are here for profit. Cool. But there's also, so just tell me that I'm here for profit. Don't tell me I'm here for the middleman, the little man.
And Jay-Z said it in 80,000 songs. I'm about a Billy. I'm about my money.
But also that's a rap.
I'm a hustler.
It's kind of like saying that an actor said this line.
But at the same time, if Jay-Z gets credit for anything, I think Jay-Z gets credit because he's supposed to be authentic.
I mean, yes and no. Yes. I mean, everything, like
his story hasn't been disproven as of
no one raps fully authentic. Because the same thing too. We just celebrated the 20 years, Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
But before that album came out, I mean, he had his first album, he was 27 years old. So he was already kind of grown up. This wasn't who he was always. He was the dude in the background, the ugly dude with gold teeth, who was just like a sidekick character. When he came out Reasonable Doubt, he's super swagged out, mafioso, puffing cigars, suit on, top hat. It's a creation. So it's like at some point, you decided what your image was going to be, you kind of ran with it. And that's fine. But that's part of it too. He wasn't kingpin mafioso who decided to rap. He was in the streets. He was the other guy in the background. He decided to rap out. He had a skill.
He was a clown in the background, but he also was, I mean, from all the stories point that he had almost $1 million amassed from drug sales.
He was paid. But what I'm saying is kingpin mafioso
is not nearly $1 million.
It's not $1 million. It's just a different image. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. So it's based on the true story. You know how they say it. Based on the true story. Cool.
Okay.
Based on the true story. But it's not the true story. It makes it more, fanciful.
Okay. So
I'm just saying he about it, but this thing was sold as artists, ownership, us, everyone up there is black, pretty much.
Okay.
Against that. So that's the thing. It's a shift in vision, and it's like you have room to change your mind. I just feel like it is important as well.
Be just as transparent.
To other things, transparency.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, don't go hard on Twitter and then apologize in the DM.
Yeah.
So if you do sell out, and when you announce the sale, hey, you know what, we had a goal. It didn't work out for these reasons. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Because on the Black album, the lyric I said before, he acknowledged the sellout portion of that. Like,
absolutely.
I'm gonna rap, I'm gonna sell these records, then I'll give back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And to him, that's the win-win.
Don't tell me I'm down for the cause, I'm with the whoop-dee, and then solid in the background.
Well, we'll see. So with all that being said, then should Deray have taken the job? Is Deray wrong for exploiting his position as one of the faces of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Here's what I'll say.
I want to say exploiting. That's the wrong term, right? Taking advantage of.
Well, here's what I'm looking at.
Benefiting from.
Deray's been in Baltimore for years. He was a teacher, and he had different other administrative capacities in the Baltimore schools. Mm-hmm. When he left to join the Black Matters movement, he was making six figures already. So it's not as if this is some out of nowhere kind of heightening of this guy to shut him up. Like, he was there. He was qualified in a way. He may not have been qualified to run for mayor, but he had been in schools for a long time before this happened. He quit his job, went out to
So is he qualified to be the chief people officer for Baltimore City Public Schools? I
would say, who's qualified for it? Like, you get the opportunity to go and you go with it. Right. I feel like he's been in schools. He's shown to be.
This is a human resources position.
I get it. He's been in schools, and he's also been, in my opinion, able to get along in so many different areas with so many different people, coordinate different things, have all kind of connections. And that's largely what human resources is. The resource of the human interacting, talking, interviewing.
And they said he's shown a unique perspective of the area, the culture, what the needs are, Baltimore, how to hire the right people.
He seems to be committed to Baltimore, has a vision for where he wants to go. So I see it. Yeah.
Take the job.
Why not?
So what's the backlash?
The backlash is a backlash. This is kind of the argument that you brought up before about there's so few of us who are in positions of either power visibility that we have to be everything to everyone. We can't. A movie has to speak to marriage, promiscuity, interracial, children, parent relationships, struggle, affluence, homeowners, renters. Like every movie got to be the same thing. I can't just be two dudes on vacation. But if I'm white, two dudes on vacation is a movie. Dude, where's my car? I go to a party, that's a movie. But
you want to cover everything, get it all in.
There's so few representations that everyone's always going to be left out. Instead of just saying, you know what, that wasn't for me, that person wasn't for me, this person is, that one is. And I think it's an unfair position because, yes, you can be critical of anyone. You said this point the other day. No one is above reproach. No one is above criticism. But you can't be everything to everyone. Let this man just be who he is.
Right.
Let everyone be us. He's a man. He quit his job for the struggle. A lot of us ain't doing that. I ain't saying give him no cookies and no credit, but that's what it is. He had a gig. He felt so inclined to quit and go down there. Through that, he's gotten a lot of coverage in his blue vest, and he's talking all over. He's talking at Spotify.
He's definitely a marketer. He's definitely a marketer.
He speaks. I hate to say speaks so well. We're on the Well Spoken podcast.
He's so well spoken.
He's so well spoken.
He's so articulate.
Can't be that guy. You're so good with words. What? You know what I mean?
He speaks regular.
So I'm not trying to say that. I don't know what the words to use, but I'm just saying, like, when you hear him
he's eloquent.
Explain points, he's eloquent. He's succinct.
There you go.
He speaks it plain. And it's like, it's quick. And you have to be able to do that in the little sound bites on CNN, whatever the case may be. He's able to deflect when they be talking that noise. So I just feel like he's uniquely positioned to be elevated because you can say, you know what, he ain't gonna be out here wilding.
So he didn't get to be chief people's officer, interim chief people's officer because of Black Lives Matter in his position, his notoriety.
I think that helped
because that definitely garnered some goodwill with the school district, right?
Because
everybody wins.
It's like, yo, he could be it could bring so much visibility to Baltimore, a place that's been largely forgotten or just stylized and say The Wire or whatever like that. But there are real lives happening every day. And it's like, yo, we think he could be an asset to us just internally. And then also he can elevate maybe some of the issues that he sees or that we may have, maybe salaries in this school district versus that one, whatever the case may be. He has a platform. Why not?
Right. I mean, so everyone just hate. I feel like everyone, because I'm not as I feel like everybody just
everything's it. Same thing in NBA free agency.
Because to me, I'm like, Deray is the activist American dream.
That's what you want.
You want to be able to use your platform, be an activist, and then be rewarded for your commitment to your community.
Now, if he start if he starts saying like, "Oh, who are y'all? I don't know you,"
or start supporting. If he stops his critiques of the system because of his position now, then there's another question.
But you can't.
We gotta withhold.
People jumping too far. People trying to jump in front of it. It's just like everything else. We want to jump in front of everything.
Because I mean, we've been so disappointed over and over again, again. And we talk about COINTELPRO still exists, so we don't know what's real what outrage is real and what outrage is fake, just to create some conflict.
Yeah, before that, because it was like, how are you getting everywhere? How are you flying to St. Louis and then out here to Missouri and everywhere? You coming in LA? Like, how are you getting there? And it was like, yo, I was making six figures before. I have these certain situations going on. I'm using my money. Yeah, there it is. But that wasn't good enough. Oh, you're being funded by the government to say these things. But what am I doing? What am I actually saying? What am I saying to you that's to your detriment? I'm just talking. You got to follow.
Yeah.
Your own thing.
So
I ain't selling you, predatory loans. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck on that.
So we'll wait and see. As of now, Deray did a thing. You're not necessarily a sellout. Way to exploit it. Well, not way to take advantage of the situation that was presented to you.
This is America.
But you still got to do right by the people now that you got that position for, as long as you have a position for. Yeah. I'm not saying hire every black person with a black face. Yeah. Make good hires, but do something to change the system. Whatever you can do, get the right people in the right positions, and then you've benefited that. And then hopefully these young activists can see it's a way. You don't have to be anti-system. This is not going to change if you're anti-system. You have to understand how the system works, understand how to work with the system and within the system to get what it is ultimately we need to change the system. But to say, I'm not taking that job because I don't want to be a sellout. So you're passing up the opportunity to affect the lives of hundreds of thousands of young Black kids and families. One, getting maybe you're getting people looks at jobs who would never have gotten looks at jobs before, right? Maybe you're getting people looks at jobs who now will actually go out and help the kids that are about the kids in the program. But to do that, you got to make $165,000 a year because that's what the position pays.
And that's crazy too, because it's like so many different people get so many different jobs. It's like, oh, well, he's an activist. We need to blast that out. Maybe he's making too much money. What's he going to do with that?
I think it's wrong to put his salary out there, but I guess because it's public school. Maybe it's public information.
There's plenty of public people I'm sure that have been hired that didn't get that salary blasted out.
Well, that's the other side of the coin of being a public persona.
It's one of the interesting things. Like now that we got the free agency thing right now, it's like people are so quick to say
NBA is nuts.
All the coded language in it is like, oh well, now they're going to be not motivated, and it's like so much of the Black struggle or the Black affluence is tied to struggle. Like, oh, I didn't have anything, I came from this broke thing, so now I'm good at basketball. And it's like, yeah, you have to be pushed in certain directions and give all your energy to certain things, but it's like you'll never hear about, Tom Brady getting lazy if he got too much money.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
because some is the market correcting itself because the players were exploited for so long.
Still being
they fought that CBA to get the 50% of it, and now we're getting transparency in it.
And that's the thing, and they wanted, you know what? Let's spread it out. Let's give you more money over the next 7 years. But I'm like, I play now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing in 7 years. Like, how's that benefit me? How's that benefit anyone? Spike it now. Give me my money now.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the thing. That's exactly. We've been waiting for it forever. But the thing is, it's only a problem, when certain people get too much money.
So down to Matthew Dellavedova got almost $20 million a year. What does Dellavedova get? No, $8, $9, $10 million a year. Dellavedova's in $10 million a year for.
Didn't play in the finals.
Was it Mozgov?
Mozgov got 64
million.
But it's like everyone's getting paid.
But we're not worried about Mozgov and Dellavedova getting lazy. We're not worried about that. He's scrappy.
He's a hard worker.
He's not gonna change that. This is gonna give him more motivation because he has approved the worth now.
But DeRozan, he's still in the money. He ain't even good. And it's like the thing is too. It's just
DeRozan, you're a clown. You should have came to LA.
Hey, they're both teams gonna be losers.
Scared of Kobe's shadow. You're scared of Kobe's shadow. Get out of here.
The biggest problem is that all of these expectations are levied upon certain parts of the population.
Yeah.
Same thing too, like this whole argument before. It's like, oh, can you not have a business, it'd be worth more money than you started, and then sell it for a profit? Like, I mean,
no. Apparently not.
What are we here for?
Apparently not. Jay-Z is selling out.
Right? Who we here for? But there is a point to say, what I don't get is this. Here's always been my plan. And if anyone wants to get on this plan, you can holler at me. This is my personal business plan for any athlete. But I never get why everyone doesn't do the same thing. Okay? You get your contract. First thing you do, buy your apartment complex. Rent it out. Don't think about it. Put the money somewhere, put it to some account, rent it out. Get you a property manager. Of course.
Take care of it. Don't be down on Sterling.
Yeah. Make sure you're watching it. Make sure the practices for the tenants and all that is up and up. But just get that. Place of income, right? Buy your crib, buy your mom crib. But a small crib. Straight up cash where you just gotta worry about the property taxes, right? Do that. Those two. And then also, and this is a lot.
I mean, you're a man. You're a man in your 30s.
Yeah, this is just
telling boys in their early 20s.
Each one of them has an agent, has a business manager, right?
Who's trying to get paid?
But
and still works for them.
Let me just think about that.
Okay.
I get why they're not advised to do these things, but of course it's to their detriment. So you get that. Get the apartment building. Get you a little small crib somewhere. Just pay it out cash, whatever. Rent it out. Same thing too. And then go back to your high school, since a lot of us come from that situation where it's like, oh, we had to make it through the struggle, and have that be DeRozan High or whatever, or the DeRozan Stadium, gym, track field, whatever it may be. Sponsor that joint, maybe get some books or whatever, and start that legacy like that, and then go out there and then do whatever you want to do with the rest of your money. You always have something that's living. You have that naming rights for your high school. You went back, did that. You got a little apartment over there making something. You got a crib where you can always go back to. To me,
that's too simple.
It's too simple. If everyone did that, and that's even the small job people. You know what I mean? Like, the minimum contract guy.
Yeah, you see your minimum contract, you're still making $1 million a year.
Still making good money. You may not do all of them, but a lot of them, are from different places in the world. Not everyone came from LA. You can buy a crib or a small apartment to do it. Have these little things, and that's how you start to build this general just wealth for us as a people, because it's simple ways to get it. So I do feel like you're not necessarily obligated to give back if you just make a lot of money. Like, I'm not putting all that pressure on you, but I do think that it's an easy way. Like, instead of just it being NBA cares, we're gonna go build one house over here, which is still cool, do your thing, but it can actually be easy change by going where you can.
It just requires a certain level of wokeness that you just can't. That's the problem.
But the thing is too, like, that makes money.
But that is the existential problem of our people right now in America, is that America rewards the distractions, and it is giving our youngest, most irresponsible people the power and the money, and then the platform.
Yeah.
Right? Our young athletes, our young rappers are getting the power, money, and platform, and they're the ones who now set the image for us. And because I think most of these rappers, if they make it to past 30, look back from their 30-year-old self to their 20-year-old self and say, damn, why was I was a fool, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's right. And I don't want to get all deep into that. I think we're good here. I just wanted to say, only in the Well Spoken podcast can you get Jay-Z, Apple, Tidal, Deray Mckesson, and NBA free agency talk all in the same hour, and it all makes sense. You heard it here. We dropping knowledge. We dropping dimes. Holla at your boy.
Hey, holla at us. And what I will say is this: everyone has room to be an idiot. We're almost all idiots when we're in our 20s. Not to mention if we had multi-million.
Yeah, I'm an idiot now.
Whatever. It is what it is, right? Over the course of life, you start to learn certain things. Hopefully, you learn something. But the point is, just as easy as you can go below 20, 30, 100 G's on a PJ just to go to New York for a birthday party, you can buy an apartment building. So it's not as if you have to be super on your P's and Q's at 21. It's just one of these purchases could be just something cool that could just sit there.
That requires work.
No, but like, this isn't a real challenge to the athlete. This is a challenge to their business manager. Now, that's why I'm saying I'm putting my services out there. I'm here for it.
Holla at your boy.
Holla at me. Because the thing is they're not controlling that money anyway. You got your spending cash, you go out there to the strip club, do what you're going to do, right? Mm-hmm. They're not controlling that. They know what your expenses are at the end of the day, by how you do it. You can use that 1 weekend, 2 weekends worth to have something that's going to sit there for 30 years and bring your money. You can just give it to your cousin if you want to.
Just give it to me.
You can just have somebody live in it. You know what I mean? Have it be a pass through.
Yeah, man. I mean,
it's just small little things. And I feel like it's not just the Jay-Z who has to get, all the pressure to do all this stuff for the community. It's like people who get on should just do little meaningful things, like sponsor your gym.
Shoulda, coulda,
basketballs, new court. Little things, because these kids or the local park, because these kids are out there all day, every day.
I hate my high school. I ain't going about to give them nothing, right? Or my middle school. So there is some of that, but
yeah, that ain't everyone. I just feel like it should be more common. That's all.
If we all did a little bit more to give back, that also improves our personal circumstances, the world would be a better place. With that being said, that is a Well Spoken podcast for this evening. We appreciate you guys for checking us out. You can always catch up with us on the Twitter at
wellspoken_pod. And Gmail, wellspoken_pod.
Holler at us.
Thoughts, comments, questions,
topics, whatever you need. And
please share, tell a friend, check us out.
There you go. And that's it. So I'll holler at y'all next time.